Hey everybody, Beth Matei here. I've been an English teacher for 40 plus years, mainly teaching language schools and privately. I've also been teaching primary levels at a public school in Rio, where I'm based. About 5 years ago, I quit working in language schools and shifted to online lessons. This is another interview from my series, What Have You Been Up To? A project that was born during the pandemic with the objective to meet teachers and then share their inspiring stories, new projects, what they have been doing, and others. I've been enjoying listening to them, and I hope you're inspired by them. My guest today is AJ Dalmaso. Welcome, AJ.
Hello, everybody, and Betty. Thank you so much for the invitation, Betty.
Thank you for accepting my invitation.
It's a pleasure.
So let me introduce you to our viewers, AJ. AJ has been an English teacher since 2010 in several different English schools in Brazil. Currently, they have their own business and have worked with private lessons since 2011. AJ holds a CAE, a CELTA, and a BA in languages, as well as a post-degree in psychopedagogy. They've been a Voices SIG member since 2017. An active member, right, AJ?
Yeah, an active member.
So, AJ, please tell us, what have you been up to?
Well, I've been up to so many things nowadays. I think during the pandemic, I have like tripled the work that I had before, but that's it. So basically what I'd like to talk to you about today is how I adapt my materials to make them more diverse and inclusive. In terms of disabilities, in terms of race, skin color, in terms of sexual orientation and gender, basically. But also body shapes, like diverse body shapes, diverse ages, age groups, and everything. That's what I've been doing with my online classes. But well, basically everything is online, but I already worked as a private teacher online before. And I was aware of that because that's what I do for Voices, for example. Like we try to rethink everything we've been doing and we've always done, basically. But now that I'm teaching 100% of my lessons online, I've been trying to adapt this more and more because basically everything is online. And what I've been finding is like lots of materials that, obviously don't represent our current situation. And then I decided to, rethink and observe all that and basically format everything I was doing before, especially my PowerPoint presentations. Because, of course, we have the material, like the books, especially in the school where I work for. We have our books. And they have like their softwares and we can see the book online. And then I started to recreate all that. So instead of teaching the grammar points, for example, the grammar topics, using that specific material, I decided to create like a whole new PowerPoint presentation with the images I choose. And there are many good websites for that because, of course, I believe not all teachers, but many teachers use Google to look for images, for example. Yeah. But I'm afraid Google is not the best place to do that because, for example, today, if you write like person on Google, you're going to see only like the standard people you can think about, like thin, white people, like happy people. And that's okay to be happy, but we need to be a little more... more honest about our reality, right?
Sure. So is there any other, because you mentioned Google, is there any other site you would suggest to look for these images, better images?
Yeah, we have Unsplash, and there's another one that I really like that is, what is it called? It's Nappy, Nappy. And then they show lots of Black/brown people pictures, like with people doing like regular things, because for example, okay, it's very easy to go on Google and type, for example, fat girl, for example, and then you're gonna see many fat girls, but in this very stereotypical way, like eating pizza or like suffering at the gym, and then if you look for old people, for example, like elderly, you're gonna see like I don't know, suffering people, basically, So this is our reality nowadays. Like, people do things till the day they die, they don't stop anymore. This is very common to see, so we really need to picture our reality in those pictures and in those materials, especially when we talk about kids, for example, when they are still like forming and understanding the world around us, right? So they are still like trying to understand what goes around and what's happening in the surroundings. So I think this is a very important moment in a teacher's life for their kids, for the kids too, for the teachers too, because we don't see ourselves represented, right? So this is an opportunity for us to show kids like different realities without even talking about that, because that's what I like to do. It's like I simply show a picture, like, there's this person, like, what do you see? And they come up with their own ideas, you don't really need to go so deep on that. So that's what I like to do.
Yeah. You mentioned you adapt the material, even the material from the school where you work at, but from what you explained, you make them from scratch.
Yeah, you're right. Like, some of them I really need to, actually, especially like, because the teacher, in my opinion, we teachers, we need really to have a very observative lifestyle, basically, because for many years, I and like my peers didn't think about that, right? We just like open the book, like open your books to page, I don't know, 100, and let's do it,
Yeah.
But we have to remember something very obvious, like, people make books, and who are those people, right? So basically, some lessons don't need to be that changed, like just some details, but some lessons are very problematic. So that's why some of them I need to start from scratch. And of course, sometimes it's a handful, because of course, like, you have material, but that's it. And I'm pretty positive that one day it's going to become more common. I've seen some changes already in the kids' books, for example. You can see more black people, more people exercising, like not so thin people. So I've seen some changes already. So like, I'm positive about this.
And my last question for you: what led you to decide to create this material? Your students' own personal experiences, or their wish to learn from you about, and understand more about inclusion, about diversity? What exactly led you to do this?
Yeah, actually, what really drove me into this was my own personal experience, because as an English student, as any type of student, like, I didn't see myself represented in the books. And then, especially in my teenagerhood, that was awful. Like, I felt very bad because I could see many of my friends, but I couldn't see myself. And like, when you're a teenager, or a preteen, this is so important, right?
Yeah.
And then I started to see, like, okay, I was looking inside, but I started to look at my students, like I look at you, and I was comparing, like trying to find them there. And I said, maybe they're not there. And I saw some positive reactions when they saw something similar to them, Oh, teacher, like, her hair is like mine, things like this. We said, that's the thing. They get happy when they see themselves.
Bingo.
Bingo, exactly. That's it.
Okay. All right, this is so good. I'm going to ask you another question. Do you plan to make your own material, produce your own material, and we're going to have a book in some?
I really expect to do that. I really intend to do that, like Raise Up by Eli and James Taylor, right? I got so inspired by them, and I thought, wow, I can do that, right? I'm not saying it's easy, but I'm saying, of course I could do that. I think it's something I have to read more about. I have to research, talk to them about that. But yeah, this is something I want to do in the future, certainly.
That's great. And good luck with that.
Thank you so much, Betty.
Thank you. That was wonderful. Thank you very much, AJ. And I'll see you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.